What's going on out there, world? It's your boy Tommy on the spot, and welcome to another edition of Disney 101. Thanks so much for joining us here today. It's a very exciting episode of Disney 101. Obviously, on the other side of the glass, as always, is my main man, Steve, down in Orlando, Florida. Steve, how are you doing today?
Magical as always, especially now that we're back home in Orlando and summer break is officially kicked off.
That's right. Yeah, your school year is officially done, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just had a very cool little trip, at least I thought it was a cool trip, up here to New York. What did you think?
It reminded me of a couple of things that I liked about New York, you know, all the friends and family, and everything else was every reason why we moved.
Oh, well, there you go. But no, we had a good time. And if you guys want, I do a wrestling channel as well. Watch Along Wrestling. You can take a look at a vlog Steve and I did going to WWE headquarters, actually, and then going to a live wrestling show. It's gotten a lot of really good feedback, so check that out if you get a chance. Steve, did you have fun at the wrestling show?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was my first one in a long, long time. And I'm glad that if there was one show to announce my return to the wrestling world, it was that one, because it was amazing.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was definitely very nostalgic to go to a show with you. And speaking of nostalgia, we have a very special guest here joining us on the show. One of the things that we want to do here on Disney 101 that we've always wanted to do is have folks on to kind of recreate that experience of going to the world. Obviously, you guys know I'm in New York. I don't get to go to the world nearly as much as I would like to. Steve, obviously, that's not the same case for him being in Orlando. But I want to feel like I'm at the world. And the way to do that really is by living through my friends' experiences, my family's experiences. And we have a very special guest. Adam Zwibel is joining us on the line today. How are you doing, Adam?
Doing well. Just came back, I would say now about a week ago. Just making sure I remember everything. I want to make sure that I can do this for your fans, your friends and fans. I want to make sure that I have everything ready to go for you. So I have it. I thought about everything, and I know what I want. I know what I want to say for you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we, Adam and I were a part of a wedding on Memorial Day weekend. And when we got to chatting, he let me know that he was going to the world. You went on Memorial Day, right?
I went down to Orlando on Memorial Day, but then I went to Disney on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. Yeah. And what would you say, how many day park hopper pass? Did you have a park hopper pass? Did you have a regular pass? What did you do?
All right. So I usually will always do a park hopper pass. But this time, since I was only going down for 2 days, and we knew that we wanted to hit Epcot the first day because we're going to, drink. Is that acceptable for your fans?
That's totally fine.
Yes.
I want to make sure this wasn't a PG-13, type of audience here. But yeah, so go to Epcot the first day, and then and then for the kiddies, go to Magic Kingdom the second day. So there was never an instance where we were like, oh, let's maybe hit up Hollywood Studios. It was just, we always had a set plan of what we wanted to do. So straight 1 day park, both days.
Awesome. And would you say that now, how often would you say you go to Disney World? Because I think you went not too long ago, right? I remember seeing a photo of you at one of the resorts.
Yeah. Because you guys know Hallie, but for the fans, my older brother, has kids, so he likes to go down at least once a year, and I usually go down with him. So I've been down there now, I would say, since I've been there like 3 different times to the world. And then I've been to the other Disney park in California one. So, I have a little bit of experience.
Very cool. Steve, do you have any questions?
So did you stay on Disney property, or did you stay somewhere else in Orlando?
See, Steve, I recommend this to your fans to never, I think, stay off the property. I think or if you go to Magic Kingdom too, because in order to go to Magic Kingdom, if you're not on the property, you have to take the monorail, tram, whatever that's called. That's a real pain in the ass, especially if you're going, like if you get there late. Like my brother got there like, I want to say about 9:15. He had to wait like 45 minutes to get on the monorail. Where I got there, like I want to say like 8:30. I had no wait. But then if you stay on the property, the bus takes you right to, if you want to take you to Magic Kingdom, you go straight there. So I wish we would have stayed on the property, but no, we stayed in some Marriott Now that wasn't too far away, but for Magic Kingdom, it was a pain in the ass because you had to take the monorail.
Oh, I didn't realize that it
You had
used
to
to have
drive and
problems.
park and do all that stuff.
What's that, Steve?
So you had to drive and then park and then do all that stuff.
Exactly, which was frustrating.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the Disney transportation takes you right to the Magic Kingdom. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you ever go to the monorail or take the ferry boats or whatever, whenever you're walking towards the Magic Kingdom, off to the right side, you should see a bunch of it just kind of looks like stations with the overhangs and stuff. Those are all different bus stops. So if you go that way, it'll take you all to the different resorts, and you can go to the other parks as well that way.
Oh, cool.
But it's a lot easier if you go from Disney property somewhere because it'll take you right there. But I mean, part of the reason why they did that, it was kind of intentional because Walt wanted the Magic Kingdom to kind of be a removal from the regular world, especially with everything with Disneyland, where Disneyland is right in the middle of Southern California. There's everything around it, and it's hard to detach yourself from reality there. So with Magic Kingdom, because they knew that they were going to have all this land around it, they actually did that intentionally to try and so that you did have to, if you're not staying somewhere close by, you do have to take the tram to the Ticket and Transportation Center, and then take a ferry boat or a monorail more. It is a little bit of a pain, but they did that kind of intentionally to try and remove yourself. That's also why Magic Kingdom is a little bit more expensive. It's not just because it's the flagship park. It's also because logistically, it takes more money to get you to the front of the park. Between the tram operations, between the ferry boat operations, the monorail operations, it takes money to cost that to keep that stuff running between the actual machinery and the cast members and all that stuff. So that's partially why Magic Kingdom is always the more expensive park to go to.
Makes sense. So when you started at Epcot, did you go directly into like an attraction, Adam, or did you decide like, hey, we're going to get started? Now, if you get there early, it's the World Showcase isn't even open, right?
No. Yeah. So, and also, I mean, I can't start drinking at like 9 a.m. I needed to like at least wait until, at least, I don't know. I think we started at around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We started the World Showcase because we wanted to hit the rides up, which I don't know if whatever it was. I remember the last time I went to Epcot, I thought the rides in Epcot were a little more, I guess, Hollywood Studios-esque, but they're really, I feel like, closer to like Magic Kingdom-esque. And I guess I mean, maybe that's just my memories, my memories fading me or not working in my old age. But I mean, so we did the rides. We went straight to Soarin' because we didn't have a fast pass for it, but we wanted to go, so we're like, all right, we're gonna get there early. We're gonna go straight to Soarin'. And then, the line wasn't that long at all. We did Soarin', and then then we did the racetrack, right?
Test track.
Yeah, test track. So that was cool. But like, I feel like I drive every day. It's not the most exciting ride in the world, but I really like Soarin'. Though Soarin' is a really exciting ride.
Soarin' is a great ride. And it's funny you say that about Test Track because I feel like as a kid, Test Track is probably this incredible experience. I like Test Track, but I feel like as a kid, it's got to be probably a lot more of an incredible experience.
Yeah, right. I mean, you don't get to drive a car, and then now you're in this Chevy, whatever. I mean, I can't imagine. But for an adult, who drives every day, it's like, all right, like,
yeah,
I can do this when I go home too.
Do you know which attraction at Disneyland Soarin' is kind of made now? Steve, is it made similar or is it exactly the same?
Now I'm pretty sure it's still exactly the same.
So do you know which attraction Test Track is the same as in Disneyland? Since you said you were at Disneyland. Adam.
Wait, what? Sorry.
The ride Test Track that you did in Epcot, do you know which attraction in Disneyland is the same exact attraction, but just it's different theme?
I mean, if there was, I didn't do it, so I don't.
Oh, it's the Cars attraction.
Oh, I mean, please. There was one where I think you're just driving around the track. I thought, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one. Radiator Springs. It's the exact same deal. It's just instead of going through all the different car parts of it, you're going and you're just hitting, you're doing all the different like parts of Radiator Springs.
Okay. So Test Track and Radiator, it's the same track and it's the same kind of concept and vehicle and stuff. I thought you were talking about Soarin' being the same exact here as it is in Disneyland.
Oh yeah. Soarin' is the same. Yeah, that Soarin'. Well, Soarin' isn't it soaring around California in Disneyland?
No, it's soaring around the world now. Both of them are.
Yeah, Soarin's my favorite attraction too, Adam. I think it's great, and no matter how many times I've done it, it feels like a real interesting type of feeling, like being on that attraction.
Yeah, I mean, the way they're able to like make you feel like you're currently traveling the world. I mean, you know, it moves a little bit, the wind. I mean, I think they even do smells, but maybe that's in my head. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's really, really exciting. I mean, but then you're like, you know, you realize you're not. I don't know. It's like an interesting experience because it's something that you know you're not traveling, but then at the same time you do feel like you're moving. And I'm a little bit afraid of heights, so like. I'm like, I know I'm not that high up. Like, I think if I rolled off the ride, I think I'd be okay. Like, I think I would just like maybe hurt my elbows.
You are lifted.
You're definitely high up. You're definitely high up.
Definitely wouldn't test the theory of trying to roll off the ride.
All right, sorry.
Good thing you didn't look down then when you were on the ride.
All right, good. All right, so I guess maybe that's not good. Because I'm a little bit afraid of heights.
You can picture this at my bachelor party. We did the drink around the world, so we went all 11 countries. And then we went on Soarin'. I don't know how I didn't vomit profusely after doing this, but somehow we ended up on Soarin' after all of those. And tensions were high, to say the least, because, you know, you have that many drinks and someone does something that'll make you a little upset. And then somehow all of us, we first went on, what was it? The ride we went on first right after that, Steve?
It was the Grand Fiesta Tour in Mexico, so the boat ride in Mexico.
Total. Did you go on the Grand Fiesta Tour in Mexico?
I did. We were after we took a tequila shot in there. We went on the ride.
I love that ride. I realize I'm in the minority. The first time I went to the park as an adult, Steve never told me about the ride because he was like, it's lame. Like, who cares? But then when I went back for his wedding, my family and I ended up going on the ride, and I was blown away. I thought this was like the most incredible experience ever. But then every time I've returned since, it's been a little, you know, kind of just whatever.
You know, there are rumors that they're going to redo it.
What's that?
There are rumors that they're going to redo it and make it Coco themed.
No, that would be a disaster. Getting rid of the Three Caballeros would be awful. Did you you like that ride, Adam?
No, I did not. Finding Donald Duck. I mean, like chasing Donald Duck around this little like slow ride. I don't know. I mean,
so I like that you go by the restaurant. Like you're on that boat and you sail past all the people that are eating at the restaurant. What restaurant is that, Steve?
That is the San Angel Inn.
We have to eventually go there just so we could see the boat.
It's really good stuff. Yeah, both of the restaurants in Mexico are.
Yeah, we have to eventually do that. All right, so you went over that way. So when you you said you did Soarin', you did Test Track. Did you also do? And this is always one I'll throw out there because it's one that I do sometimes and I don't do other times. Did you do Mission Space?
So yeah, so I did not do Mission Space this time. I did Mission Space the last time I was there, and I did not feel very good. But I did like the most aggressive version, you know, like when you can, you know.
Yeah.
So I did the most aggressive one. So I don't know. I felt so sick afterwards. So I didn't want to do it again this time because I didn't want to get sick again. I know there's a less aggressive version. Maybe that one wouldn't have been that bad, but no, I couldn't do it this time. I just didn't have it in me. I was like, if I feel sick again, I'm only here 2 days.
It'll ruin the trip.
Yeah, ruin my trip. So I don't know. I mean, it was cool the first time I did it, without a doubt. But second, I mean, oh God, I felt like I got out of the ride. I had to sit down and for like at least 10 minutes, and then I don't know. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it this time.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough experience for me. That the spinning one is impossible. When I was on the spinning ride, I understood why there was, you know, because they have barf bags right there on the attraction. Yeah, and I knew, I was like, I got to get off this. So I was praying the ride would end, and my wife barely got off too. And then we did the non-spinning one, which I think is a great attraction. It still got her sick somehow. I don't know how, because that it's fun. It's a fun attraction, but it's definitely scary. Steve, do you want to tell Adam why that ride is a little near and dear to your heart?
That was my first Disney job when I moved down here, was working at Mission Space. And everybody kind of has a love-hate relationship with it, and it's either a love or a hate. There's no in between there. But if you went on it like a couple of years ago, if you do go on the green side again, it's completely different. They completely did a different, so that it's actually a different ride now. It used to just be the orange one spun, and that's like the G-forces, and that's what made you sick, versus the green side. And the green side is just like a regular motion simulator, so it doesn't really make you as sick. But they completely changed the green side, so it's a completely different ride now. So, I mean, it's and again, it's like, especially when people would be coming off the ride, it was either you had, this, just everybody had this face of sheer thrill and excitement, and it's like, oh yeah, let's do it again. And everybody else just had that like 10 seconds away from vomiting face, just like, get me out of here. But that's also why, there's a few things that like they do to kind of help you out there. That's why those things are so cold, especially the orange side, because it helps to reduce that feeling of nausea. And also that's why the exit is so long, and why it's so like monotonous, and like there's all of the neutral paint and all of that. It's to kind of try and suppress that and kind of like bring you down and settle your stomach and stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. And Adam, did you do any of the character meet and greets while at Epcot?
I did not. My niece did though. I don't know which ones though, but I know she did Cinderella's Castle the next day, but I don't know what she did the first day. I don't know, but I know she did one. I mean, I think for me, I think I'm a little too old for that. No.
Well, my wife has like the ones that are specific. We need to do them. It's like we do. So when we went down, we did like Halloween, and so Halloween they have all of the characters in their Halloween costumes, and so Erica was really big on we need to go down and get a photo with each one of those characters in the costumes. We need to get we're big fans of Nightmare Before Christmas, so needs to get one with Jack and Sally. So I guess it's fun to do. I appreciate doing the characters, but it's not something that like. The worst character experience, and thank God it's gone, is the Star-Lord and Baby Groot meet and greet. It was almost like it felt awkward for me and Star-Lord to be doing this meet and greet.
Why do you say that?
It was a weird. Star-Lord was so you know who Star-Lord from the yeah. The costuming didn't really work. It didn't look like a real Disney character. It looked like somebody you'd find in Times Square.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, Star-Lord. He was like, what's up, man? You're way too old for this. What are we doing? But let's do a quick photo and let's be out. So, but yeah, so when you went into, so I guess my next thing would be, did you eat anything while you were at Epcot during the day? Because Epcot is known for a lot of their meals and for their different restaurants.
So I guess just so your viewers are aware of like my experience in Epcot is that when I was down there, it was right around like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It became like 100 degrees. So we needed to it was so we ate lunch. I don't know. We probably ate lunch in just a few different countries, like like one of their like small like plates, like like Morocco, like the falafel, whatever. So like we ate a couple of small plates, and then we needed to like leave the park because it was getting way too hot, and we were just like, and plus we were with the kids, the 3-year-old, the one, the 6-month-old. Everyone needed a break, so we didn't do the drinking just yet. So we left the park, like for like I don't know, I want to say about like 3 or 4 hours until like the sun went down or the sun was going down. Went back, and that's when we started. Oh yeah, where were we for dinner? I think we just did like the small meals again around the world.
The quick service, yeah.
Yeah, like we didn't eat any, like we didn't eat at like a formal restaurant.
Gotcha. That's crazy. So when you were taking the 3 to 4 hour break, did you just go back to the hotel or?
Yeah, went back to the hotel. Our hotel had a pool, so it was not a bad experience just to just take a little break, especially whatever. An Uber wasn't that bad. Split between like 5 people, it really wasn't that bad. We went back, when the pool cooled off, wait till the sun comes down, and then go back. Because I mean, it felt like it was 100 degrees, but it felt like I don't know, like 115. It was so hot we couldn't do it anymore. Like we needed a break.
think back to our trip down in July. One year we went down in July, and it was the worst. And because we only had one day in the Magic Kingdom that day, we pushed it ourselves to do it. And my wife at the end of that trip was like, it wasn't even fun because it was just like, she was so hot throughout the entire trip and was just trying to find shade. We went to, Steve, you remember we went to the parade and she like bolted, went hid underneath some like tree because it was just like not a tree, so somewhere with shade. And it was just really tough. So that, I can't even imagine 100, that had to be awful with it being that hot.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it definitely, it was, it's just, we were trying to hold, we were trying to be like, listen, let's continue to like drink water, take breaks, but it was just getting too much. Like we needed to like really get out of there and like go into a pool or, hit air conditioning. It just, we I don't know. I mean, maybe if I had it in me, I would have fought through it. But I mean, once they were like, hey, listen, I think we're going to take a break. I'm like, all right, sign me up. I'm going to do it.
One of the things, one of my favorite attractions that's kind of on borrowed time right now is Spaceship Earth. Did you get a chance to go on Spaceship Earth? That's in the big ball.
Yeah, that's one in the big globe. Yes, we did. Yes, that's where you experience like Earth through time and stuff. Yes. Why is that on borrowed time?
Yeah, they're redoing it, so they're going to be closing it down, and then within the next year they're going to be redoing it. So the things in Epcot, really, Spaceship Earth, and then the fireworks show as well is going to be done by the end of September, I think. So did you stick around for the fireworks?
I did. While I was quite wasted, I was watching the fireworks.
Yes, that's typically how it goes. So let's get into that there. So you make your way back to the park, and then that's when you started indulging in some adult beverages?
Yes, indeed. I guess right when I got there, I was like, I saw the signs. There's 11 countries. I'm like, all right. I'm like, that's a lot. So I go to my sister-in-law. I'm like, hey, listen, do you want to maybe like on some of the drinks, split some drinks? Like in terms of like if we're gonna get like I don't know, a margarita, let's say in Mexico. Do you want to split the marg? And then maybe like whatever next country we'll just get beers. So I think we started in Mexico, and I was like, oh, I don't even know what drinks they have in Mexico. So I quickly just like I was wondering what my phone would tell me if I Googled it, and obviously thousands of articles came up. But like I clicked the first article and like which was like relevant. It was like 2018. It was like, all right, these are the drinks that are in Mexico, and like this is what we recommend. We recommend getting the blank at the blank. So like, oh, I'm like, hey, listen, like, do you want to just follow this? They're like, yeah. So like it was really on the fly to figure out what we were gonna drink at what place. I mean, not wasting so much time figuring out like what there is to drink.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And so was it like you knock down a drink and then move to the next country and start another drink?
Pretty much. I mean, if it was, well, so in Mexico, we decided instead of doing a marg, we decided to go tequila shots with the tequila, and it's right next to like that Fiesta ride. I don't know.
What is that one?
That's the Cava del Tequila.
There you go.
Yeah. If you said the tequila restaurant and I agreed with you, Steve would be sitting there because he likes to. Steve appreciates when we say the correct names of the things. I have no clue. Yeah. But.
Yeah, I just knew it. I just knew it said tequila. That's all I knew. Like I didn't. I don't remember the name, but I remember.
You didn't see when I did the drink around the world. We did 11 beers, 11 actual drinks. I don't know how you were even standing for those fireworks.
Yeah, but as I said, like when we did drinks, not the shots, but we did drinks, we were splitting them. But that was only in like maybe like I don't know. I want to say it was in Japan. I want to say Japan and China we split a drink. So everything else we were just drinking beers. So yeah, I don't know. It was and the tequila shot, but whatever.
So they used to have a shot in Norway. Steve, do you remember what the shot was called?
It's like Devil's Tears or something like that. Weird.
Devil's Tears. So our plan was we were going to stick with beers for the most part. We were going to start with one margarita at Mexico and then work our way around, just stick with the beers. You like before beer, you were in the clear. In the middle of this, though, in Norway, I had a buddy of mine who can probably figure out who it was just by thinking about it, who insisted on going and getting a drink from Norway to get these Devil Tears shots. Basically, when you take these shots down, the cast members in Norway counted you down in Norwegian, and you had to sit through that countdown and not wince or make a face while this was going on. And then once it clears, you could then make a face. These were very intense, and this is what put me next level wasted there and really ruined everybody's day. I was doing fine until I had that shot, and that was the end. I was gone at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was a super strong shot. Like, why was it called Devil Tears?
It was really strong. Yeah, it was. Steve, you did it too, though, right?
No, I did not. I sat that one out. That was the only drink that I sat out.
Because 11 drinks, I'm like, and I'm like out of body experience. Steve did 11 drinks, you wouldn't have noticed anything different. Like, he was just casually strolling by, perfectly fine as he was the entire day. So I don't know if it was just that shot, but the shot's not there anymore. Like, they realized that shot was bad news, and when we went back to look for it again the next time, because I guess I wanted it again, it was gone. They don't do it anymore.
Sad, yeah, because I don't think I remember even seeing it on like a menu. So it was.
You kind of have to go find it because it was towards the back of the pavilion. So you kind of have to go find. You have to kind of go searching for it. That's probably why.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do it. I think maybe I'm glad I didn't do it. Actually.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's fun to be drinking around the world, but you don't want it to be. You remember, at the end of the day, you're still at Disney World, so you don't want it to be an experience where you're so screwed up that, families are looking horrified at you, and, don't want any of that. So,
I mean, also we had an intention of we want to try something in each country. So, it's like when you're running a marathon, you're not sprinting the whole time. Like, you kind of have to pace yourself a little bit. And I knew going in that I don't want to, we don't want to burn this on our second or third country. So let's kind of pace ourselves, and then if we can kind of make another lap, get back around to it, maybe.
Right.
So.
Well, one of the things, I don't know if you know, Adam, do you know when I came up with this plan to do Drink Around the World?
I think you said I think you told me. I think it was maybe I'm wrong, but for some reason I'm thinking like a very young age.
It was while on the sidelines, coaching a game of B'nai B'rith basketball for Leviticus AZA. Was it AZA?
It was AZA.
There you go. So yes, I was doing that, and Steve was my assistant coach, and I was trying to get everyone to go down to Disney World. I was like, it would be great if everyone could go to Disney World, and nobody wanted it. Nobody can go. It was expensive too. We were young. And I said, Steve was like, someday I'm going to get married, and my bachelor party will be at Disney World, and we will drink around the world. And at the time, I didn't drink. So this was like, I knew ahead of time. This was down the road at some point we were going to do it.
You're like a psychic, Tom.
What's that?
Like a psychic.
I think just really stubborn. And I think, it would have been very depressing if I didn't get to, obviously, but I had to find the wife first and do all that whole deal before I could justify getting people to reluctantly go down there and do it. But yeah, so let's, I guess, so what would you say was your favorite of all of the countries down in Epcot itself?
I think if I had to choose, I think I like Mexico the most. I think maybe that's just because I like tequila. I like, I think the food is really good. But I will say this. I don't know if you're going to ask me this anyway, but I'll tell you my least favorite. And not because of the food. The food's actually very good. But in Morocco, I was like looking for what do I want to drink in Morocco, and like the website again, because I was blindly following this website of like some weird magazine, and it was like you got to drink like the Moroccan wine. And I was like, all right, I'll drink the Moroccan wine. It was, first of all, I'm gonna tell you this experience. So I go to like the first venue, like the first little kiosk that's outside of like outside the restaurant. And I'm like, all right, what's Moroccan here? He goes, nothing. I'm like, what do you mean nothing? He goes, well, because it says like Moroccan tequila or Morocco, I don't know. It's like a combination of Morocco and tequila. I mean, and margarita, Moroccan margarita, whatever. I'm like, is this Moroccan? He goes, no, it's just a Moroccan margarita. I'm like, I don't want to drink a Moroccan margarita. That's the same thing I drink in Mexico. So I go back on my app. I'm like, oh, I see that they have Moroccan wines, like real Moroccan wines. I'm like, all right. So I go into the restaurant. I'm like, all right, let me get the Moroccan red, which is, I mean, it's never good when you refer to your wine as just a red. So I drink it, and it's god awful. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have a better experience in Morocco, but I had an awful experience in Morocco for the drinking wise.
Well, Morocco, Steve, do you have any experiences in Morocco? I feel like that one I kind of forget about Morocco sometimes.
They have some stuff every now and then. I think there's some Moroccan beer maybe, but I think when we stopped, when we did our country crawl, we got a mixed drink. I remember it being blue. And it's about as much as I remember from Morocco.
I think I still stuck with the beer, but I do.
Probably, yeah.
Morocco is, I think, for us, it's my wife always wants to go to Morocco, the country. So
like actually, yeah.
Yeah, actual Morocco. So she gets so excited when we get there. And then obviously you get to do, at least when we were there, Princess Jasmine was there, which she was really big on. Aladdin, because it's all Aladdin. There's like a little area in the back that they try to make it like Aladdin, right, Steve?
I mean, it looks like a Moroccan bazaar, which incidentally also probably looks something like an Arabian bazaar. So it just happens that it's the one that most closely, goes with, oh, where are we going to put Aladdin Jasmine? Well, Morocco is vaguely Arabian. Let's put him there.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, that part of it is cool enough, but I'm with you. We've never eaten there either, I don't think. Have you eaten there, Steve?
Yeah, I've eaten there a couple of times. It's really good food, and it's kind of kind of hidden. Especially there's two major restaurants. There's a quick service restaurant, but then there's also that one that's right on the water, and it has a lot of like tapas and small plate stuff. But then there's a restaurant Marrakesh, which is all the way in the back, and it's really good food, and it's reasonably priced, and a lot of people kind of forget about it.
Wow, that does sound
because
good.
It's in Morocco, and both because you can't see it. You kind of have to go to the back of the pavilion. So a lot of people kind of don't really know about it, which is good for those of us that do know about it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'd say my favorite country is either Mexico, Germany, or England. In England, did you go to the bar that's there in England?
Yes. So, but I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about the same one. No, I guess I didn't go to the bar because I went to the place where you get like the fish and chips, and then I got a beer at the fish and chips place. So
that might be the place.
Did you go inside, or did you just get it from the stand?
Yeah, I got it from the stand.
Okay, yeah, so it's outside. No, you didn't go inside the bar then.
No, I didn't go inside there.
The bar is cool there because they allow you to mix different types of beers. So you have like different options of beers, and so you go there, you try different types of mixed beers, and it just seems like everybody there, like it almost feels like that is a break where it doesn't feel like Disney at all. You go in there, and it just feels like you're at this really cool bar in England, but you're here in Orlando. Like that's how I feel at least.
Oh well, I mean, all right. So next time
you gotta.
I got to go in.
You got to go in for sure. Anything anything else you wanted to touch on about your trip to Epcot before we move over to the Magic Kingdom now?
I mean, I think what was interesting is that so we stayed pretty late. I mean, I think the park closed where they stopped drinking at 11. I mean, we were there till I want to say like, oh my God, I don't even know, like 11:45, 12. Like,
really?
What?
You were there till 11:45?
Yeah, we were just sitting in Canada, like when you go up the stairs and like right outside like the place where you can like order some beers. We're just sitting there. Like me, my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law's sister, the three of us, were just pounding. We got like 2 beers in Canada, so like we were just sitting on this little table and just pounding beers, until we were ready to go home. So it was a good experience. It's like they didn't kick us out or anything. I thought they would, but no, it was a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. And one of my big things about Disney is that some, other than the Magic Kingdom, a lot of the parks don't stay open very late. So that's awesome that you were able to kind of hang out and do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, we saw people around, but I mean, they didn't say anything to us. I mean, I guess, we weren't causing a problem. I don't know.
And Steve, do you know that place he was at in Canada?
Yeah. I mean, it's there. If you went up the stairs, there's just kind of a little like area where you can sit down, hang out.
Oh, that's fine. So is that where you watch the fireworks as well?
No. I mean, because this was I don't know what time the fireworks were, like around 9. So around 9, I think we were still like closer to like Mexico area.
Oh, okay. Did you like seeing? Did you like the fireworks itself?
Oh, fireworks are awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm bummed that they're getting rid of Reflections. It's Reflections on Earth. Is that what it is, Steve?
Do you want the full name, or do you want me to just say yes?
Well, what is the actual name?
It's Illuminations, but the tagline is Reflections of Earth.
I was going to say, where did I get Reflections of Earth from? That might be that. Other than I enjoy the Phantasmic. Have you done Phantasmic in Hollywood Studios, Adam?
If I did, I don't remember.
It's where Mickey's a sorcerer and he's making things blow up, and then they have that scene at the end where like 100 characters all come out and they're all in the water, and you're watching this thing.
You know what? I mean, I don't remember. I really don't.
Well, that one I like just because I feel like it's a Disney thing, but I think Illuminations is great. It's gonna be sad to see it go, and I probably won't get down there before it closes up shop in September. So it's a little sad.
And, I'm sorry I wasn't able to take a video for you, Tom. I wish I would have.
Well, thankfully, one of our hosts lives down in Orlando, and he'll be down. He'll be down to see one of the final, if not the final, presentations of Reflections on Earth. But that was my first experience with a Disney fireworks show, and I just remember being like, "Oh my god, it's a sight to be seen." So it's very, very cool. But Epcot's a great. Would you say Epcot is your favorite of the 4 parks in Disney World?
I mean, it's up there. I think that in Hollywood Studios for me are the 2. Or I guess like I guess that's the comparison of Adventure Park in Disneyland, Disney, right? But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's like kind of my favorite. But Epcot's great for eating and drinking. So I don't know. I would say it's between the 2 of them for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, especially when Star Wars opens up and they do the Star Wars Land opens up in Hollywood Studios. I think it's even going to be more of a destination there with Toy Story Land, everything else that's there in Hollywood Studios. I think that will bring the studios back because for a while it was very slim pickings in Hollywood Studios. So, Steve, what would you say is, I guess, your favorite of the 4 parks?
Again, it kind of depends on what you're going for. If you're going for just kind of hanging out, walking around, we always love to go to Epcot,
right.
Especially when there's, either Flower and Garden or Food and Wine Festival going on. That's always the best one to go to just to kind of hang out. But if you're going to go to ride rides, probably either Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, because they're the ones that actually have the big thrill rides.
That is true. Did you go on the dinosaur ride over in Epcot, Adam?
I did not.
That's in Epcot, right? Or is that in Hollywood Studios? Is that in Animal Kingdom, Steve?
Well, so if you're like the dinosaur ride is in Animal Kingdom, there used to be a ride that had dinosaurs in it with the Ellen's Energy Adventure, but that has not been open for a couple of years now because they're doing the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction there.
There you go. So shame on me. That is why you didn't go on the ride, Adam, because it's not in the park. So would have taken a minute of research, but I love the dinosaur ride. I think it's a lot of fun. And when we went to the last time we went to dinosaur ride, the ride got stuck no more than 10 minutes. And when it got stuck, they walked over and they were like, "Hey, are you guys okay waiting on the line?" We're like, "Yeah, like if you guys want, feel free to go over to guest relations and get yourself a fast pass for any attraction in any of the parks." Other than I think this is when like Avatar Land opened up. So they said other than Avatar Land, you're good to go on any attraction. So we were able to get fast passes and then go over to Snow White the next that day. We went and walked over and did Snow White. So that was cool. And that's always a good memory I have of the dinosaur ride. So you're right. I guess Epcot doesn't have that many. Frozen. Did you get to go on Frozen, Adam?
I did not go on Frozen.
No, I can imagine. Yeah. You don't look like a Frozen guy.
No, right? I don't. No, I'm not.
No, I can imagine you saw the attraction and were like, "I'm good, not going on this one."
Yeah. I mean, my brother and his kids went on it, but I was eating at the time, and I was like, no, I'm gonna pass. Right? Frozen is in Norway, I think.
Norway, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna continue eating.
Yeah, my wife is big on just trying to get as many attractions in as possible, and Frozen is one that we usually do 2 or 3 times. I don't know why it ever requires more than one time, but she enjoys the ride. And if you're a fan of the movie, I mean, it's a great attraction. You don't normally go on it either, Steve, right?
Honestly, no, mostly because it usually has a long line, and I've been on it. It's kind of one of those things that I want to keep it special.
Right.
So I only go on it when we have people from out of town. When we're here, walking around, when it's a bunch of us, if we go on any ride, it's going to be something that has a short wait. So if Soarin' or Test Track has a short wait, we might hop on it. But aside from that, we usually go to Epcot, for the World Showcase.
Gotcha. Yeah, Epcot. Yeah, I feel like that's where most people are. It's where it's a good time, and yeah, I love the World Showcase. I think Epcot might actually be my favorite park, even though there's not that many attractions there, and there's not really anything they're adding, right, Steve? Well, I guess they're adding. Are they adding anything?
They are adding the Gardens of the Galaxy ride.
Okay.
They're adding a Ratatouille attraction.
Right, in France.
Right. They are redoing Spaceship Earth. And then they're also going to be adding a whole new area that is going to be kind of where the Wonders of Life Pavilion is and everything like that.
Oh, nice.
So they're making all these new plans, and there hasn't been a lot of details released about what's going on, but they're going to move the entrance. Not quite sure what's going to be going on, but they're going to redo the entrance so that when you walk in, it's going to be a completely different experience. And there's going to be a lot of kind of attractions and stuff like that up front. And it's going to be more like interactive stuff. It's not really going to be a lot of big rides, but it's going to be a lot of other, attractions and exhibits and stuff like that.
I know they're doing the Spaceship Earth restaurant over there.
Nope. Mission Space.
Mission Space. There you go. Good call.
Excellent. Yeah, Tom, come on. How do you make those mistakes?
I am the Ryan Seacrest of the show, Adam. I keep things on the track, but when it comes to knowledge, there are many holes in my game. And if you watch any of the episodes, you probably find quite a few of them. But I do the best that I possibly can. So I'm almost always wrong though. But I do. I think my favorite, the worst.
He's trying his best, Adam. He's trying his best.
He's trying his best. Right? He's trying his best.
But I like how you're so confident. You're like. You're like on something, and then Steve's like, nope, not that one.
Well, we went with one of Erica's cousins, who hopefully doesn't watch the show. God bless him. We went to Magic Kingdom, and he was so off with every ride name. Like he had to be creating these names. Like instead of Splash Mountain, it was Brer Bear's Log Flume Adventure, which has never been called that. And each time that he kept making these mistakes, it was getting Steve more and more upset. And what was the one that he did with, he called the Guardians of the Galaxy dance something or other? He called it something completely off.
Oh, I don't even remember. I try to block it out sometimes.
It was really rough. But all right. So Adam, it does seem like you had a really nice time over in Epcot.
I did.
So the next day, so you're there until 11:45, and then you said you were at Magic Kingdom the next day at 8 o'clock?
We were there, 8 o'clock, and to get on, oh man, what ride was?
So your hotel must have been pretty close to the park.
Yeah, it was pretty close. And I have to admit, just as a caveat, premise for your viewers. So again, it was 100 degrees, and we did stay out late. So and we had our, and we were leaving this day, so we didn't stay. Or I at least, me, my cousin, and my sister, the ones that were flying out that day, didn't stay that long in Magic Kingdom. So we stayed till about 2 o'clock. Probably the same thing we did last time. The same thing we did in Epcot, right around the 2 o'clock mark. It was just getting too hot, and we're like, you know what? We have to go. Let's go back to our brother's hotel, who still has a room, so we can go home, shower, and start getting ready to wrap up the day. So I didn't stay very long. So I just want to make that pretty clear, because I didn't go on a ton of stuff there. But on the 8 o'clock, I did go on a ride. I can't remember though. What's like a huge ride in Magic Kingdom, like a thrill ride? Trying to think.
So I almost always start my day at Magic Kingdom. It ends up almost always starting with Space Mountain.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what it was. Space Mountain. Yeah.
I don't know why it is. Space Mountain always seems to be the start of the day.
Yeah, because the line's always gonna be long. So if you can hit that early,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and then we took lunch, but I would say we went on a few rides. We did Small World, which, okay, so I want to put this out there for your fans. I am not a huge fan of like these rides. Like these type of rides are like, don't really do it for me. I mean, I guess maybe like I never went to Disney as a kid. I only went Disney as an adult, so I think maybe I never got that experience of like, oh, that nostalgia, because like I didn't go to Small World as a 5-year-old, or go to all these rides when I was 5. I only did them now I think my first time I was like 27. So like for me, like I'm like, like I don't know, they don't do it for me. Like the bigger rides do it for me, like so Space Mountain, whatever the log ride. I'm not gonna try to butcher it. Whatever the fucking
Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain. There you go.
Do you do Splash Mountain as well?
Yeah, Splash Mountain. So like these are the rides that I was like looking forward to. But like I went on Small World, there was like a pretty long line, and I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen. And I'm like, I was kind of upset that I waited on this line because like I don't really want to go on it, and yet I'm going on it and I'm waiting a long time. So it was, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a function of age. Maybe it's a function of the fact I never went as a kid. I don't know.
Well, I will tell you, for me, Small World. I love Small World, and I understand that it's not very great attraction, right? And I see that. But for me, Small World is the remembering of going on the trip as a kid. Going on that ride many times as a kid, going on with my grandparents who are deceased, going on with my father who is deceased, going on with different relatives that are no longer here. And I'll always, and I think every time I'm on the ride, I tell this story to Steve when he's with me on the ride. I remember being a kid and probably no more than this was like 2001, in 2001. So I'm a kid, but I'm like 13. So I'm actually starting to think I'm cool, even though like least every single photo with like Goofy was like the least cool guy ever, right? So I'm on this ride and I'm going in, and looks like Kurt Cobain himself is sitting right above where as you're going in, if you look up, there's like a window where Pinocchio's quick service restaurant is right there, and there's this guy who's sitting there, and he's looking like he's totally baked, and he's rough, a total rocker, and he's sitting there and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and he looks at me and he goes. And I gave him I was the happiest I've ever been in my life, because that was my thing at the time. Devil Horns was like, I'm such a cool guy. So I was so excited to have done that and saw him over there. And that is, so for me, every time I go on that ride, I see that, I notice it. I also like to look at like kind of how dated the ride is, and how if you look around, it's in this like little room. So I do like Small World for that. Steve, I know you're not the biggest fan of it, though.
No, not even a little bit.
Well, you're like Adam. You didn't really go too many times as a kid, right?
No, and that's true. No, I don't have the nostalgia either. But there are some rides that we always go on, like Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean. Those those are rides that we'll typically go on. We always try and hit up the Space Mountain, not so much. Just because there are only so many times that I can go on that without my back hurting. And Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, Buzz Lightyear, those are some of the rides that we usually go on.
Yeah. And so Adam, you said by 2:00 that day, that was it for you? You were done?
Yeah, you know what? The heat the first day, it was compiling, but no, but I went on some rides, like the Buzz Lightyear ride. Again, another ride that like is cool, but I don't like. I think the line was really really long, and I was upset that I waited again on that line. I don't know. It seemed like I knew my day was going to be shorter than Epcot, and I was like, I didn't want to be on the lines, but that is Disney, and nothing you can do about it. But I will say this: the ride. The comedy show. What's that with come on, someone help me out here.
The Monsters Inc.
No, I will not.
Yeah.
I need you to do this on your own, Adam.
Well, I've already told them.
Yeah,
it's the Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory was great. I loved it. I don't know how they did it. I don't want to know how they did it. It was just amazing. I think that's like that when I was going into this, when I was preparing for this interview, I was like, I want to tell them about how much I loved this, Laugh Factory, Monsters Inc. Laugh Factory. best thing in the world. I think that's the best ride in the park in that Magic Kingdom, if you ask me. Hilarious.
Oh, it is great. Yeah, it's and one time we went, and you know how they incorporate some of the members of the audience in the ride. Steve was one of the people that they used.
Oh wow!
So he, do you remember that, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was Sully, if I'm not mistaken. I was the big hairy monster, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, if and you played along. Like, I wonder if anyone that they've chosen is just like straight up not had any interest in playing along.
All the time, and sometimes that makes it funnier because the monsters will really try and egg them on and really try and do something, and sometimes that makes it better. Like, it's one of those shows where when everybody plays along and does their job, it can be really funny, but it can be even better when somebody has no idea what's going on.
That's awesome.
And it makes it that much more awkward and hilarious.
Yeah, that is a great. That's a good call, Adam. That's really good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you know, I don't remember too much about my Magic Kingdom. I wasn't there that long. I was probably there till 2. So, and then we took an hour for lunch at Pinocchio's restaurant.
That's I've never been, and I've always wanted to go, and we've passed by it a million times. I have that great memory of the guy giving me the devil horns there, and I've never been. How was the food there?
Yeah, you know, food's good. I think we all probably got everything. I mean, it ended up being like someone got one thing, I got the other. So I mean, it was good. I think I had you know what, going into it, I was like, I was really looking forward to Epcot, and once Epcot was over, I wasn't thinking that Magic Kingdom wasn't going to be, you know, anything, you know, too exciting. But it ended up really well. I went to Monsters Inc. Then to Pinocchio, and then we pretty much. I mean, we might have went on one more ride afterwards. If we did, I don't remember. But we went on one more ride, and then that was the day. But I will say this. I mean, coming out of the park, I was like, wow, Monsters Inc. That was hysterical how they did it. How they were able to, like, you know, target certain people. This one guy kept getting it. You know, it was like, and this guy, and they go back to him, and at least you're not this guy, and he go back to him. And he was just getting, you know, it was good.
Yeah, that is a great attraction, and it's funny you. Did you get a check? Did you have any fast passes?
We did. I think. But I don't remember we used that. We had Splash Mountain was one.
Okay.
I think we had for something later in the day, but we didn't end up using it because we left early. And I can't remember the third one. But I mean, it was good. I think I hit everything. Pretty much I wanted to hit, and even in the short period of time.
I think your trip sounds like a trip my wife would be a huge fan of because of the fact that you were like, screw it, I'm going home. I think that she likes to do that. She would love to just be like, hey, it's 2 o'clock. We're going to go back for an afternoon nap. We're going to go back to the hotel pool. We're going to leave. And I always am like, we've got to try to get everything in because we're only here for a few days. And I'm like Clark Griswold with the list of, you know, Bob Saget on Full House with the list of every single thing he's trying to get accomplished throughout the day and the schedule and trying to get to the shows that we've seen 100 times, but like for whatever reason I want to see again, or the parades. I'm assuming you didn't see the parade.
No, we didn't stay for the parade. Even though, as we were leaving, the parade was going, and then so it was a little hard to get out of there. But no, we missed the parade.
The only thing I've really backed down on in my now that I'm a veteran, I guess, of going to the parks, is the fireworks show at the end of the night. I've never seen the Magic Kingdom one, and I've been there several times since the new ones come out. But it is just to be able to leave before that's over, you really do beat the mess of people that are getting out of there and the big crowds getting out of there. So I always think that's worth it to try to get out before that's over.
Oh, I didn't even know they changed it because I went last year and I saw it.
Did you like the show there?
Yeah, I think so. It was good. It's Disney. You can't beat it.
Yeah, they do a great job with all of their shows. Steve, any questions you have for Adam here before we start to wrap it up?
Is there anything that you wish you would have been able to do but didn't get a chance to in that 2-park adventure?
I want to say no. I think I hit everything I wanted to hit. Obviously, if I was there more days, I'd go to more parks. But no, for those 2 days, for those 2 parks, I think I got everything I wanted to hit. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm like pretty happy with the way I did it.
That's awesome. And do you have any plans to return to the parks anytime soon?
I mean, it's Disney. I mean, isn't it always when are we going next time? You know, like you leave and you're like, oh, let's figure out when we're going next time. But nothing on the horizon or nothing in stone.
It's funny because it's funny you say that. One of the times I was leaving when we did stay on property, we were coming back on the Magical Express back to the airport, and they play you that video to get you amped for everything else coming up throughout the year. And I just remember sitting there being like, I want to come back here 5 more times this year. And I mean, clearly that's why they play you that video, to get the guy like me who's sitting there like, we've got to come back. We've got to go do the Halloween. We've got to go do the Christmas. We've got to go do all these things. So you're right. It is always kind of where we're going. When is our next trip? Even Steve, you went down just the other day just to kind of walk around Disney Springs for a bit, right?
Yeah, after coming back from New York, I kind of needed to introduce myself back into the world down here. So yeah, I just went to Disney Springs just because I can just kind of walk around and stuff. And I think we actually might be going later on today to maybe grab some a late lunch or a dinner or something to walk around again.
Very cool. Well, Adam, is there anything you wanted to add here before we get on out of here?
No, I think that was good. I think I'll be on your channel next time I go. So I'll take a little better notes. You guys really pressed me on some details. So I'll make sure I'll have my better notes next time.
Sounds good. Well, I mean, I think you did a great. I think you definitely added a lot to the show. I feel like I was there with you. I feel like I was tired in the middle of the day and going back to the pool, or I could picture you all, hanging out on the top of Epcot there after it closes and knocking back some drinks in Canada. And that's what it's all about. It's recreating that experience. And I thought you really added a lot there. So thank you very much for coming on this week.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
And if you guys want to follow us here, you could follow us over on Twitter at Disney101pod. Same name for Instagram. That's at DISNEY 101POD. Steve, anything you want to say here before we wrap it up?
No, just as always, we'll see you real soon, and everybody have a magical week.